Call to order the Wilson County Commission meeting of February the 27th, 2023, and welcome all of our guests here tonight, and entertain anytime you have an opportunity to come back and be with us. But thank you for being with us tonight. This time I would like to introduce Commissioner Brown, which will have our prayer and pledge for tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, guests, tonight I want to introduce to you Matt Hastings. Matt is the lead pastor at Hermitage Church of the Nazarene, and that's a church that I attend, so I'm happy to have Matt here with us, and he's going to start us off with a word of prayer.
Please rise.
Gracious God, we thank you today for the good people of Wilson County. Thank you for these servants that often serve without accolade. May we be a blessing to them. May we be an encouragement to them. We thank you for the blessings that you have given all of those, especially here tonight. May everything that we do give you glory and praise. May we be a blessing to others, we pray. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Matt. Now, if you'd join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown, and thank you, Pastor. If you will, please press present on your panel tonight to record your presence at this meeting. Commissioner Keith is under the weather tonight and called me earlier. Are we good? 24 present and 1 absent. Report from the steering committee, Commissioner Fields.
Steering Committee of the County Commission of Wilson County met in regular session on Thursday, February 16, 2023. The copy of the minutes are in your packet. I'll move that they be received and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Adoption of the agenda, Commissioner Fields.
There's a copy of the agenda in your packet. I move that it be accepted, approved, and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Consent agenda, Commissioner Fields.
The consent agenda is in your packet. Resolution number 1 must be pulled tonight, so I need a motion to pull that.
I got a motion second to defer on resolution number 23-2-1. Just pull it? My bad, okay. To pull it, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Move forward. Now you ready for the consent agenda? Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda? Okay, we're ready to vote?
Mayor, hang on, let me make sure what's in
Oh,
there.
it is line item transfer.
Line item transfer for the PEG channel.
Is that, and there should be another one, I think, Sandra. Look at 23. I think we could include it as well. It's a line item transfer of 5,000. 23?
It's two different line items, two different
Categories.
two different categories, 53910 to 54240.
So only have 23-2-2, line item transfer to PEG channel. I got a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Discussion. Seeing none, are you ready to vote? We'll have to do that by a roll call. Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, 1 absent. Consent agenda passes. We're ready now for special recognition. We have 2 of those tonight, and Commissioner Breeze will administer both of those for us. Commissioner Keith will be absent on one of those.
If the Gladeville Middle School girls basketball team could join me up here with their coaches. And while they're working their way up here, Rusty Keith was actually really excited to be able to read this resolution because he knew a lot of the girls from being students at Gladeville Elementary School. So unfortunately, he's under the weather this evening. So he wanted to make sure that you all understood and knew that SRO Rusty Keith from Gladeville Elementary is really proud of you guys and your accomplishments. Got everybody? Got everybody? All right, great. Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, honoring the Gladeville Middle School girls basketball team. Whereas the Gladeville Middle School Lady Wildcats basketball team finished this season with an overall season record of 21 wins and 8 losses, and whereas this team of talented young women went undefeated in Area 11 with 10 wins, 8 of which were regular season wins and 2 tournament wins to win the Area 11 championship. And whereas the Lady Wildcats then went on to become the Section 3 champions to advance to the state tournament. And whereas in their state tournament appearance, the Lady Wildcats made it all the way to the Final Four. And whereas the members of the Lady Wildcats girls basketball team included Hannah Clayton, Riley Clayton, Lila Daly, Riley Fly, Olivia Kenning, Madison Jackson, Addison Maynard, Eliana Ramsey, Ava Richardson, Abby Seymour, Riley Spencer, Violet Teckenbrock, and Annie Wilson. And whereas this team was coached by head coach Missy Hunter and assistant coach Joanne McKnight. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, that this resolution be presented to head coach Missy Hunter and each member of the team and coaching staff for display at Gladeville Middle School in recognition of the outstanding season of the Gladeville Middle School Lady Wildcats basketball team.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Congratulations.
Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Stay put, girls.
Stay put. Stay put. So I want to give this to Coach Hunter. You're welcome. I'm making sure I'm giving you the right one because I've got 2. So this is for you. And then girls, as you leave, if you want to come up here and just introduce yourselves, that would be great. I promise it's not hard. All you have to do is just say your name into the mic and that's it. I won't embarrass you, I promise. So thank you and congratulations.
How do you go?
I got a microphone.
Somebody go.
Y'all get to the hoop so well.
Hi, I'm Abby Seymour. Hi, I'm Madison Maynard. Hi, I'm Ava Richardson.
I'm Hannah Clayton.
I'm Riley Fly. I'm Violet Teckenbrock.
I'm Lila Daly.
I'm Olivia Kenning.
I'm Riley Spencer.
I'm Madison Jackson. Annie Wilson. I'm Ellie Ramsey. I'm Kylie Mott.
Thank you. Okay, so now that the Mount Juliet Middle School boys have seen how it's done, they're next. So, Mount Juliet Middle School boys basketball team and coaches, would you please come join me at the podium? You guys want to split up? Okay.
Officer Bueller.
Got everybody? All right. Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, honoring the Mount Juliet Middle School boys basketball team. Whereas the Mount Juliet Middle School basketball team finished this season with an overall season record of 25 wins and 4 losses, and whereas this team of talented young men went undefeated in the county as well as Area 11, And whereas the boys basketball team then went on to become the county Area 11 and Section 3 champions, granting them their ticket to the state tournament. And whereas in their state tournament appearance, the team made it all the way to the Final Four where they were named state runners-up. And whereas the members of the Mount Juliet Bears boys basketball team included 8th graders Mason Bates, Christian Bright, Will Butler, Colin Drell, Nick Gedwa, Miles Harden, Nick Henley, Cam King, Gabe Marquez, Kyson Sanders, Hayden Sheehy, and Dyson Torian, whereas 7th graders on the team included Brady Coleman, Nate Gebois, Leighton Plummer, and Will Sloan, and Jaden Varpness, whereas this team was coached by head coach Jeremy Hawks and assistant coach Clay Hawks. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, that this resolution be presented to head coach Jeremy Hawks and each member of the team and coaching staff for display at Mount Juliet Middle School in recognition of the outstanding season of the Mount Juliet Middle School Bears boys basketball team.
Motion to approve. All in favor say aye. Aye. Congratulations.
And gentlemen, if you guys all want to come by the podium and say your name and introduce yourself as you make your way out that direction. Congratulations.
Aiden Sheehy. Brady Coleman. Kyson Sanders. Colin Durrell.
Christian Bright.
Miles Harden. Dyson Torian. Will Sloan. Nick Henley. Mason Bates. Cam King. Will Butler.
Leighton Plummer.
Congratulations, Coach. Thank you, man. This time, introduce Commissioner Jerry McFarland for special recognition tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Will the Regina Bedell, will you come forward and bring your siblings, please? Just kind of come up here beside me, if you will, please. You know that guy? Do you? Okay, y'all just come up. The guy you're seeing on the screen is Claude Albert Baskin, a graduate of Lebanon High School. We have a resolution honoring him. Before we do, I want to say a little bit about a conversation that he and I had one time where he is either the highest decorated soldier from Vietnam or one of the highest, and he's the only one that ever showed up on the United States postage stamp. But he told me that they were inside a perimeter about to be overrun. Refuel helicopter came in, resupply, and crashed outside. Jumped up, left the perimeter, went through enemy lines, rescued the pilot, and led the co-pilot, crew chief back. Resolution Board of County Commissioners, Wilson County, Tennessee, naming the bridge over Spring Creek on Poplar Hill Road in honor of Sergeant First Class Claude Albert Baskin. Whereas Sergeant First Class Claude Baskin served 24 years in the United States Army, both in Korea and in Vietnam. Whereas his many years of service, Sergeant First Class Baskin went on to receive many awards and decorations, including the Silver Star, Bronze Star with V device, Purple Heart with Oak Leaf clusters, that's 3, Air Medal, Combat Infantryman Badge, Army Commendation Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, 2 campaigns, Vietnam Campaign Medal with a 60 device, Vietnam Cross of Gallantry, Vietnam Cross of Gallantry with Palm, which means another award, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, Presidential Unit Citation, various other awards, Korean Presidential Unit Citation, Air Assault Badge, and 6 Good Conduct Awards. Whereas Sergeant First Class Baskin appeared in the photo, this photo, the postage stamp, 33 cents, entering the Osceola Valley out of a helicopter. He's the number 2 man on the skid, which is the only image from Vietnam War that's ever been turned in the United States postage stamp. Whereas it appears fitting and appropriate that Wilson County named the bridge over Spring Creek at Poplar Hill Road in honor of Sergeant First Class Claude Albert Baskin, who dedicated many years of service to his country, and therefore the Board of County Commission, Wilson County, Tennessee, and hereby named the bridge over Spring Creek at Poplar Hill Road after Sergeant First Class Claude Baskin. Move to approve.
All in favor, say aye.
Thank you. We have a resolution here, a merit resolution honoring him for each member, each of his children here tonight. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate what Claude did serving the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner McFarland. That honor tonight, well-deserved. This time we'll move towards a public hearing. There are 2 requests for rezoning to be heard tonight, as well as a request to amend the Wilson County rezoning, regional zoning resolution. And so at this time, I will ask Mr. Tom Brashears to come forward.
Motion to go out of session.
I don't go out of session until we do the hearing. Yeah, when we do the public hearing, we'll go out of session. Mr. Tom?
Ladies and gentlemen, a public hearing will be held before the Wilson County Commission on Monday, February 27th, 2023 at 7 p.m. or thereafter in the County Commission Room of the Wilson County Courthouse here at 228 East Main Street in Lebanon, Tennessee.
This time, I'll ask a motion to go out of session.
Move.
All in favor, say aye.
Continuing with my announcement of the public hearing, the first public hearing, to hear comments on the following application, which has been submitted by Tanner Puckett, representing property owner Brian West, to rezone property located at 1501 Highway 109 North from R1 Rural Residential Zoning to C2 General Commercial. The property is referenced by Wilson County Property Map 70, parcel 9.02, and consists of approximately 2.8 acres. The application, rezoning request is before you today. Anyone wishing to speak is requested to come forward at this time.
Anyone here to speak on the property? At 109, please state your name and address at the podium for the record, please. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Ms. Dowdy, will you help me with that?
My name is Tanner Puckett, and I live here in Lebanon off of Hankins Drive. We're requesting to rezone this property in order to turn it into a landscape supply store that's more family friendly, oriented towards our homeowners and stuff, so that regular day people can pull in and out comfortably and not be overwhelmed with all sorts of construction type of debris and materials. And we'd also like to start a pumpkin patch, Christmas tree lot, and really focus on creating a local space where people feel comfortable coming and they're proud to be there.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak before on the property tonight? Okay, Tom, you want to go to the next one?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, a public hearing will be held again here at the Wilson County Commission on Monday, February 27th, 2023 at 7 p.m. or thereafter here at the County Commission Room at 228 East Main Street to hear comments on the following rezoning request. Civil Site Design Group has made application with permission from the property owners, the Rollins Mantle Trust, to rezone approximately 462.05 acres. Those properties consist of the following: Wilson County Property Map 158, Parcel 3 in its entirety, from its existing zoning of A1 agricultural to I1 light industrial, and I1 light industrial to C4 planned commercial, which is located on Fall Creek Road. Wilson County Property Map 157, parcel 41.01 in its entirety from its existing A1 agricultural zoning to C4 planned commercial, being located on Murfreesboro Road. Wilson County Property Map 157, parcel 49 in its entirety from its existing zoning of A1 agricultural to C4 planned commercial, being located on Murfreesboro Road. Wilson County Property Map 157, parcel 76 in its entirety from existing A1 agricultural zoning to C4 planned commercial, being located on Murfreesboro Road. And Wilson County Property Map 157, parcel 76.01 in its entirety from its existing I1 light industrial zoning to C4 planned commercial, again being located on Murfreesboro Road. Wilson County Property Map 157, parcel 77 in its entirety from existing zoning, A1 agricultural zoning to C4 planned commercial, being located on Fall Creek Road. Again, a copy of this request has been on file in the Wilson County Planning Office. Anyone wishing to comment on this particular rezoning request is requested to come forward at this time.
Anyone here to speak on the property on Fall Creek Road, please step forward and state your name and address at the podium, please. Seeing none, we will move on. Tom, you want to read anything on your other one before we go?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go on and do the public hearing part, we can get that out of the way. A public hearing will be held before the Wilson County Commission on Monday, February 27th, 2023 at 7 p.m. or thereafter here in the County Commission Room at 228 East Main Street to hear comments on the following. A resolution adopted for the purposes of amending the Wilson County, Tennessee zoning ordinance regulating development within the jurisdiction of Wilson County, Tennessee to minimize danger to life and property due to flooding and to maintain eligibility for participation in the National Flood Insurance Program. A copy of this request has been on file in the Wilson County Planning Office and it has been available for comment. Anyone requesting or anyone wishing to comment on this particular zoning amendment is requested to come forward at this time.
Anyone wishing to speak about the zoning changes tonight? Seeing none, we'll close public comment period and take a motion to go back into regular session. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Tom, if you will, restate your rezoning property located on 1501 Highway 109.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have an application that's been submitted by Tanner Puckett, representing property owner Brian West, to rezone the property located at 1501 Highway 109 North from R1 Rural Residential to C2 General Commercial. The property is further referenced as Wilson County Property Map 70, parcel 9.02, and consists of approximately 2.8 acres. This particular rezoning request was presented to the City of Lebanon's Regional Planning Commission as it is within their planning jurisdiction on December 27th, 2022. And it is being forwarded to the Wilson County Commission with a positive recommendation.
Commissioner Rich, I'm going to go to you. It's in your district.
Okay. There's a couple different things that I look at when we're looking at transitioning over to commercial development. The first thing I look at is information from the citizens in that area. At this time, I have not received any comments for or against this property coming in. I have met with Mr. Puckett and Mr. West out on the property site. It's rare for me to say this, but I am actually for this transition to commercial because what they're trying to do in this area is going to put a positive spin. They're not changing the landscape. They're using the existing barn. They're going to redo some things, and it's going to be an area where the whole community can go to as far as to get shrubs and, as he said, pumpkin patches, Christmas trees. I think it's a positive commercial development. Now, that being said, my only fear is if this does not go well, then it's already zoned commercial. But I have faith in Mr. Puckett that his business is going to thrive, so I give a positive recommendation for this to go to commercial.
Here's a motion from you. That's a motion from you, Commissioner Rich. There's a second. Any discussion now? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Let the record reflect it was unanimous. Proceed, Mr. Tom.
The next rezoning request that we have is an application request by a Civil Site Design Group for property predominantly located along Fall Creek Road. Highway 452 is its primary road frontage, all the way to the intersection of 231. The property consists of 462.05 acres, and its reference is map 158 parcel 3 in its entirety. Let's see, map 157, parcel 41.01 in its entirety. Map 157, parcel 49 in its entirety. And map 157, parcel 76 in its entirety. And map 157, parcel 76.01 in its entirety. And map 157, parcel 77 in its entirety. That's the parcels that make up this entire assemblage of family-owned property by the Rollins Family Trust or the Rollins Marital Trust. I believe I mispronounced that earlier. Effectively, the frontage on Highway 452 is predominantly zoned I-1 light industrial now. What this does, which means that somebody could come in with a site plan to the Planning Commission and submit for an industrial-esque use, and that be a use by right at present. What they're proposing is to go to a C4 master plan development to get the entirety of their property, even that which does not front on Highway 452, to a C4 zone district. For the most part, they're proposing with their master plan that you should have copies of, to have light manufacturing, assembly, and office space similar to what you might see with the Panattoni development as an example around the super speedway. As you get within about 600 to 800 feet of Highway 231, on both sides of 452 as it intersects, they're proposing to have more of a retail commercial mix of uses in concept down at that particular corner, which would include anything from office to small retail.
Commissioner Haskell Evans, this is in your district. I'll ask you to speak first.
I should have said this has been forwarded with the Planning Commission's recommendation of approval as of January 20th, 2023. Apologize.
Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I do have a question and a request before I issue public statement.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tom, in a rezoning like this, what recourse does the county have to make sure that the conditions of approval are met, and who follows up with that to make sure that they're met?
Well, because it's a C4 master plan specific zone district, the C4 zone district requires a master plan and a use table. They're required to submit a master plan with their rezoning request. That master plan becomes part and parcel of the zoning. So if there's a commitment that was made on the master plan that they at some point failed to comply with, we would treat it as a zoning violation, send our inspectors out there to confirm that they did not comply with some aspect of the request, and then cite them with letters of violation or at least contact them to see if we can't get it addressed. So unlike a straight zone district that's not a master plan specific zone district, for instance, not a plan unit development or not a plan specific district like C4 is, if a developer makes commitments, all we have is that they've made it on the record and we can remind them of that, but that's not something we can necessarily enforce. In this case, you can.
Thank you. My request is that in future rezonings, and this may have just been an oversight this month, but in future rezonings, I would like to request that the pertinent copy of the Planning Commission minutes be included in the packet.
Yes, sir.
December's minutes were, but January's were not.
Okay. I'll see to it that happens.
Thank you.
Apologize for the oversight.
Understand. Thank you. Now, I can't say that anybody is at any time super excited to have more warehouses, but as far as this area, I think that everybody has sort of known for a long time that it was prime for development. I would like to note, too, that the developer in this case has restricted themselves to an extent as far as allowable uses and uses that they are excluding themselves from having. And they went so far as to, on the copy of the plans that are on your desk tonight, they included some of the notes from the Planning Commission meeting to further abide by. So
two pertinent things we heard from neighbors in the Planning Commission review process were light encroachment. So what they committed to was lighting height, including wall packs, whether it be pole lights in the parking lots or the wall packs on the walls being no higher than 35 feet. They are requesting a total height with their master plan of 55 feet, which is above what we typically would allow, 35 feet. However, in the warehousing districts and in the C4 in particular, the Planning Commission has the authority to consider that as a design element and has allowed some approaching 55 feet, if not right at 55 feet in height.
This would be on a case-by-case basis.
Yes, this would be on a case-by-case basis, and the only thing I would add is with that 55-foot height that the Planning Commission did recommend approval with, we would just like to state for the record that the Planning Commission, that we would still, as staff, like to get documentation from WEMA approving of the height in a case-by-case basis as site plans come forward above 35 feet, just ensuring that they've done some fire suppression, some other things that are necessary when we exceed that 35-foot height. That 35-foot height has been in the zoning ordinance for a long time in most of our zoning ordinance districts, and that was largely because we didn't have a ladder truck. We are on the precipice of getting a ladder truck that will likely be down in the Gladeville area for a large portion of its lifespan, if I understand from Joey's office where they propose to keep it because of the specific size and scale of the buildings. And all we're asking is that as they come in with site plans, that they submit that and get WEMA approval.
Thank you. So with the concessions and the considerations of all the comments made that the developers made, I would make a motion to approve.
Second. A motion is second. Now discussion. Commissioner Kurtz?
Tom, with that, I guess variance going up to 55 foot, is there any way to do an assessment or a fee on that? You know, we are buying a ladder truck, and if we keep getting these requests, we're going to need to buy additional ladder trucks.
Yes, sir.
And if we're going to give a variance, it seems that we could add a fee on there to help us pay for that.
Well, I want to specifically clarify, it's not a variance that you're necessarily considering, although you have the right to approve or deny the overall rezoning. That variance is typically approved or denied by the Planning Commission in this instance.
Sure.
But your point is well taken. It's certainly something we can consider going forward.
Commissioner Glover?
I just said the same thing he was saying, is that if we're going to start approving that high, we need to have something in some of these large developments, put so much money towards larger apparatus to be able to fight fire when they need to.
Yeah, to date, what we have been doing with WEMA is ensuring, having each developer come in and with a fire suppression consultant that they are using and present what they're proposing for fire suppression inside the building in the way of sprinkler systems, other fire suppression systems, alarm systems, things of that nature. So that, sure.
And that's the worst thing. They're going to be sitting out there with their hands tied, not being able to do anything.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Chief.
I think it's a good idea. Let's get it.
Commissioner Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Really quick, since I'm on EMA, I want to echo Commissioner Kurtz and also Glover. Would it be worth sending it back and asking them to relook at that and maybe visit that? Or would that be hard to do?
It's not something that we've required of any other C4 zone in that area in the past, but it's up to you. It's your call. You can defer it back or
just a question.
Refer it back.
Any other questions, Commissioner Kurtz?
But you said we've never had one this tall before either, correct?
No, we've had some that approach this height for sure. We've got several that approach between 40 and 50 feet in height.
I'll give you, I'm sorry, but I'll give you my 2 cents worth. You can build it 55, and you're never going to have anything to reach that building anyway.
Yeah.
It's standpipes. It's personnel that they're going to need when we start going that high. So throw the equipment out the window. You're going to need personnel.
It's a multi-acre building as well.
Yeah, that's right. Because you're not going to. That's just like Nashville saying that they got a ladder truck to fit the tallest building down there. It's people. It's not the equipment. It's people. Yes, so when you do this, just know they're going to come and ask for people, and I don't blame them. I'd ask for a bunch.
How many would you ask for?
Well, with a building that size, you better add on about 10 per shift.
Any other questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Let the record reflect it was unanimous as well. And now the rezoning resolution, Mr. Tom.
Yes, sir. This is a zoning amendment to update our county flood damage prevention resolution. This is more or less a requirement of the National Flood Insurance Protection Program and the state of Tennessee, I guess, as the go-between. When we get new flood maps for a portion of our county, we're required to adopt the new panels in. There is nothing in this that's different than what we were enforcing before. It is the state's base model floodplain ordinance with one exception. The state's base model flood ordinance requires 1 foot above base flood elevation for finished floors. We have traditionally required 2 feet above base flood elevation for finished floors. So I saw no reason to go backwards with this, so I did amend that base model ordinance to replicate what we've already been enforcing in our current version of this very same ordinance. But this has to be adopted by May 9th, or else we will be in hot water with the National Flood Insurance Program. So, and it's one of the few things they've told me that there's no real wiggle room on. It's got to be adopted by May 9th to adopt the new resolutions.
Second.
Any discussion now? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Okay. Anything else, Mr. Tom?
Not in the way of amendments or public hearings. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Move on now with reports from Minutes Committee. Commissioner Fields.
Minutes Committee met in regular session on Thursday, February 16th in the upstairs conference room at the County Commission, or the County Courthouse. I make a motion that we receive these and file.
Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Reading of the minutes.
Motion.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Communication from me. I know you have a rules booklet, some sheets up there. Please sign that if you will and get that to me tonight before you leave, just so Sarah can feel good about printing your rules booklet out. I will also say the food you have in the lobby out there tonight is compliments of Miss Davenport. She did that on her own. That's thinking on her own 2 feet. Nothing that came from me. She knew you were going to be here for a long night, and so she reached out and did that. She also spent $30 out of her pocket, and somebody donated $30 back to her, so I'm sure she will appreciate that. McAllister's is the one that actually gave the food to you free of charge as a donation. You have this also from the Omega Bash that is on your desk there, and this is done by Mr. Earl Berry and a group, and they actually are having the fundraiser here with Mr. Eddie George. It's going to be at an event. The tickets, I think, are $95, but he knew what you did for our community and said to make sure that you knew that $40 for you guys would be what he would charge for the county commissioner to come to that, if you would like to come to it. The money goes back to, they had 3 or 4 parties during the, or events during the summer to give the children's, or I would say athletes, but all group of young people something to go do to keep them focused during the off season. So that's what that's about. It's on your desk, and see Mr. Earl Berry if you have any questions about that. I do need to mention to you that the appointment of Will Offenhauser to the Legarlo Utility District. He is on there, just something out to read him. He was on the University of Tennessee National Championship team. I knew you want me to mention that, so I thought I would do that. Other than that, I have nothing else for me. Let's go to the notary list. Mr. Goodall, anybody to be added? Do I hear a motion to approve a notary list? Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Judicial Commissioners, we have 3 full-time to appoint this time, and Mr. Gentry, I will turn the floor over to you.
Yeah, we have 3 full-time commissioners to re-elect for 1-year terms. I'm going to ask Ms. Lisa Colteroni to come up to introduce them. But they're both, all 3 of them are very qualified individuals. We requested it. And all those we voted in.
We vote on these all 3 at one time or individual? Vote on them individual. So Ms. Lisa, you carry me through that?
Councilor Jennings. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As Mr. Gentry indicated, we have 3 judicial commissioners whose terms are up for reappointment. The first one tonight is Felicia Hale. She serves as the Deputy Director of the Judicial Commissioner's Office. She has 26 years as a county service, 8 years with the Judicial Commissioner's Office. She comes to you tonight with a favorable recommendation from the Judicial Committee, and I'd ask this body to reappoint her.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Do a roll call if you don't mind, please. Give me 1 second on that, and then we will do that. We did have some issues early on with the sound on the audio at home. Commissioner Keith called me on that one, but I think we've now got it fixed. So if you get any issue or you hear any comments, hopefully it's been fixed by now. Yes, sir. I'll do it. Thanks for telling me ahead of time. Gotcha. Can I do it by raising hands? She's having a hard time.
Automation, the scourge of the world.
What?
Automation, the scourge of the world.
Okay, for Ms. Felicia Hale, 1-year term for full-time judicial commissioner. Vote yes if you approve. Vote no if you do not, please. Commissioner Marlowe, all hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record.
15 yes, 9 no, 1 absent.
Move forward, please. Move forward.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No trouble.
The next commissioner is Stacy Swindow. Stacy is a senior commissioner in the Judicial Commissioner's Office. She has served this office since 2006, over 17 years. She comes to you tonight with a favorable recommendation from the Judicial Committee, and I would ask you to reappoint Commissioner Swindow.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion now? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Let the record reflect it was unanimous. Please proceed.
The final commissioner I have for your consideration tonight is Commissioner John Lefevre. He's been with the Judicial Commissioner's Office for over a year. He previously served Wilson County with the Wilson County Sheriff's Department. He serves as the midnight commissioner for our office, and I'd ask you to he also comes with a favorable recommendation from the Judicial Committee, and I'd ask for the reappointment of Commissioner Lefevre.
Move to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Let the record reflect it was unanimous as well. Thank you, Ms. Lisa.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you. Thank you, Mr. John. Moving on to the Audit Committee, you are to confirm my appointment of one member to serve now from July 2023. Am I good? Am I good? On the Audit Committee, Commissioner Danny Clark is willing to serve there in place of Commissioner Lauren Breeze, which now is working part-time in the Finance Office, and because of our rules, she will not be able to serve in that capacity. Do I hear a motion for this?
So move. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Health and Education Facility Board members, you are to appoint one member to the Health and Education Facility Boards to fill the unexpired term of the late Ms. Tina Winfrey. Her term expired in May 2026. I'd like to recommend to you Ms. Carol Stinson. Information about her was in your packet. Do you hear a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Thank you for that. Report from the Emergency Management Committee. Commissioner Bernard.
Emergency Management Committee met February 15th at 5 o'clock in the Women Training Room. I make a motion the minutes be received and filed.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Emergency Management Director's report. Director Cooper. Asking for 10 new men, right, sir?
Yes. Shoot, yeah, that'd be the first thing now. Yeah. Thank you, Mayor, County Commission.
Welcome, sir.
Well, we do have a little bit to talk about today, so I'll get started. Our status right now, we still on the contingency plan. We have a new hire class going on right now, have 6 AMTs in it. And they've completed the orientation part. They're doing the ride outs right now, so should be about the middle of March. They'll be able to go on the road. We are 11 paramedics short now. We were 10. Pretty much our vacancies, we have 4 on A shift, 4 on B shift now, and 3 vacancies on C. We do have 3 in medic school. 1 will be getting out in May, and 2 will be getting out in August. We currently do not have any paramedic applications, but we're thinking outside the box again, so we're going to do another hire that will probably be 1st of May for paramedics to get those 11 spots filled. And I feel positive that we will be able to do that with things coming down the pike. As far as the station update, Station 7, 91% of the time it was closed since January 1. Station 11, 29 out of 46 times, which is 63%. Now, speaking on that, Mount Juliet is ready to proceed with their EMS. I've had multiple meetings with their administration and our administration to work on this transition that we're going to do. Our final meeting was today. We worked out all the logistics that it's going to take to do this. They will be putting in 3 units in service come March 13th. And with that being said, the people that we have in Station 3 and Station 10 will be reassigned elsewhere until our stations open 3 and 10 in May time frame. So all that's been worked out. We have where we're going, what we're going to do with the equipment and the personnel. I'm going to release that to my people this week once I get everything finalized myself. And then they're going to release it to their people this week for that transition to take place. But one thing I do want to say is whoever zones that's going to fall into, which there's several up that line, nobody will be without the coverage that they have today when this happens. It may be a different patch for a little bit, but you know what? We all do the same job. So I don't see a flaw in it. So the coverage is still going to be there, whether it's fire or whether it's EMS. So we made sure that that stayed the same in whatever we come up with. So, if you have any further questions, you can contact me, but we made sure that this would not hurt anybody. And last thing, is with that personnel movement, we feel positive, or 100%, that Station 7 and 11 will be filled and be open 100% of the time. So I wanted to let y'all know that. So that concludes my report, unless y'all have any more questions.
Approved. Commissioner Gentry?
Yeah, Joey, thanks a lot for the report. Now, the ambulances in Mount Joe, there's going to be 3 of them?
Yes, sir.
They're going to be located.
Now that I couldn't tell you. That's, my understanding is there'll be one at their Station 1 on Providence, and there'll be 2 ambulances located on East Hill Street.
So if they put an ambulance in the Belinda Parkway, is that what you're talking about, that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Take
proper.
our ambulance out.
Correct. We have, yes, we have 1 ambulance at their Providence Station. We have an ambulance, rescue, and a brush truck at their East High location. So we will pull that equipment and our personnel until our stations, 3 and 10, open. Right. And by that time, and I'll tell you this, by that time, all of our recruits, the whole 17 that we have, will be on the road. No more classes. So they'll be full-time the whole time. So basically, this is going to be a win-win all the way around for everybody.
Between Central Pike.
Yes, that has been taken care of.
Commissioner Breeze?
I know we paid rent to the city of Mount Juliet to be able to actually put our ambulances in their stations. Being that we're being asked to leave before the end of the term, are we going to get a refund for the rest of the rent?
So moved.
That I don't know. I did not talk to them about that. That's more on the city and county level.
Now,
I know, it was $60,000 this year, I think.
yeah, but hang on a minute. Hang on. We don't pay in advance, do we?
I don't think
No,
so.
we don't pay in advance, and so it would be prorated when it came time to do. Yeah. We don't pay
Okay.
monthly, we pay yearly, but we pay yearly, and, we pay at the back of the year, not at the front of the year.
Okay, I just want to make sure that was taken into account.
No trouble.
Thank
Commissioner
you.
Franklin?
Is there any concern that Mount Juliet might ask for a share of their tax revenue back? I mean, this is a countywide service they're going to be providing. It seems to me that they can make the case that it's a double taxation.
Not double taxation, it's based the same thing on private school and public school. Commissioner Clark?
I don't have a question, I just have a statement. I want, everybody in this room are not newcomers here. They always know that there's been a invisible divide between the east and west sides of this county, and it seems like we've always fought and argued and bickered back and forth. And I need everybody to recognize what Chief Cooper and Interim Chief Joe Edwards at Mount Juliet has done, not only to shore up the shortcomings in emergency services right now, is probably going to bridge a huge divide that we've had in this county for a long time between the east and the west, and I think they both should be commended for it. It's absolutely fantastic.
I will commend and echo your statement as well, and I think as they work together, I think something else to be noticed, Mount Juliet's idea of EMS extra is just that. It didn't have anything to do with WEMA or a lack of ability there or none of that towards us. It's just their ability to want extra like they have in police, like every city has in police today. And so that's what they want to try, and that's the route they're going down. And I didn't mean to cut you short on the on the tax issue, but that's a conversation we'd already had about that. So that is, it's like public school. We all pay for public school, but if you choose to send your child to private school, you don't get tax dollars back. Any other questions on this? Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. Got opposed? Thank you, Director Cooper. Report from the Law Enforcement Committee, Commissioner Kurtz.
No report.
And for Sheriff's report, Sheriff Bryan.
Thank you, Mayor, County Commissioners. Your report's in your packet. Going over some of the numbers, I circled the normal ones. Calls for service are up. State warrants received, civil process is up, jail population is up, and I'll continue to bring it up every month. Our inmate work crews are continuing to work out and about. it's a mess out there, and they're out there every day trying to keep it clean. But as soon as we go through throwing out, we're ready to pick it up again. Right, Commissioner Weathers? So quit throwing your stuff out. Real quick, I want to talk about the opening of the jail. I've been asked by several, I keep getting asked when's it going to open. Where we're at now, as of last Thursday, we got certification from the state on certifying our state as far as our fire evacuation and everything there, but it's ready to go from, we should get that this week. So we're in the process. We've been training in it for the past month, I would say, plus continuing to run our existing jail. We've still got a little bit to go on that. Our first step will be to move all the inmates that we've got in our current facility over into the new facility. We cannot do that until them two buildings talk. And we're waiting on two little computer pieces, two of them. That's holding us up. And quick as we get them installed where them two buildings can talk so we won't lose communications. It's safety things, what it is. We'll be moving inmates over, I would say hopefully within the next month. And then once we complete that process, the construction company will go straight into the old facility and start working where they have free reign. They can pretty much get done. We're hoping, we're shooting towards August or September. So, but everything's moving right along. It's, again, if you hadn't seen it, majority of you have, come see it. Now's the time to come see it. I opened a box of worms when I invited the Rotary Club to come in and eat in the jail. Now everybody wants to come, but it's been a lot of my time doing tours. But it's important that y'all see it, so I invite each and every one of you to come see it. I listened to Director Cooper a while ago talk about staffing. I just want to give you a quick update where we're at. Back at budget time, we were down several in the corrections, and Commissioner Jones will remember this, and the ones that y'all approved, the extra personnel we approved for the jail, we're down to 3 positions open right now, just 3. So we're just about there. I think we'll be there. We got interviews all this week, so I think we'll get fully staffed by the end of next couple of weeks. Now, in saying that, the reason why I'm saying that, this coming budget year, we're going to start processing into this new jail. We talked about personnel, and I documented it last budget time. There will be some personnel needs as it relates to not only the jail, but there's going to be some personnel needs as it relates to patrol officers. The number of calls we get, the number of calls for service every day is going up, and there's a need there, and I just ask that y'all consider that when the time comes. That concludes my report unless there's any questions.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, Sheriff. Report from the Education Committee, Commissioner Marlowe.
Education Committee met Thursday, February the 16th. Minutes are in your packet. Move they be received and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Director of Schools report, Director Luttrell.
Good evening. You do have my report. Should have it in front of you. I won't cover it word for word, but it's a busy time in school year. A lot going on. The past board meeting, we did make several student recognitions. I just want to highlight a couple of those. You can read about them. Had 3 of our students. One of 128 students in the state of Tennessee has been recognized as presidential scholars. I'll give you some information on that program. It's a national program, and they'll be moving on to hopefully a semifinal bid. Also, do want to highlight something out of Lebanon High School. Several years ago, put a bio-STEM program in at Lebanon High School, and they just recently won 3rd place in the College Environmental Science category, sponsored by TAS. It's a professional organization that's comprised of state scientists, college professors, and college students across the state of Tennessee and Kentucky. To our knowledge, we were the only high school there competing, and definitely we were the only high school that placed dealing against college students, including many of them on the graduate program. Their project was looking at an endangered species possibility on the creek of their campus. It's pretty interesting, and they'll continue that research, but just a really great accomplishment for those young people, and their sponsor. It shows some of the things that's going on. Also, we highlighted the last board meeting, Wilson Central High School for the Sports Information Department. If you've never had the opportunity to look at that and watch their coverage of athletic events, it will rival anybody in the country. And so we did highlight those students. Also, the board voted unanimously to approve softball field at Mount Jude High School be named in honor of the late Mr. Mike Waltney. And I know he meant a lot to a lot of people in this county for a long time, and was proud to see that. Thank you for congratulating our middle school teams. It is the middle of the basketball season. This is Region Week. We got teams still alive and playing, and we look forward to seeing who advances out of those tournaments this week, with many of our schools being represented. Also, I want to highlight something the Transportation Department does every year. Been doing it for over 25 years, and that is providing the annual Exceptional Education Valentine's Dance, and it's held at the Expo Center. Just a great event, and if you ever get the opportunity, I encourage you to attend that. But if not anything else, I want to recognize that's something the Transportation Department has taken on for years and owned. It's a great event for those students and their families. You do have an update on our enrollment. We're currently 720 up from the end of year last year. Also, just a couple personnel updates. We have filled a federal program supervisor. It was left vacant when Amy Gullion was moved to the elementary education supervisor, and we filled that with Ms. Christine Miller, longtime administrator in Wilson County. She was currently serving as principal at Springdale, and we have backfilled her position at Springdale Elementary with Ms. Jennifer Yoakum, who had been with her several years at the opening of Springdale. She's been in our county for a long time too as an assistant. She is now the principal at Springdale Elementary. Included in my packet, you do have some pictures on the updates of where we're currently, as of January the 18th, the last pictures we have of West Wilson. It looks a little bit different than that even today, as they're making progress. Of course, we have, the last month, lost several days to weather. My report this morning was they were there to start moving the portables and placing them where they will be put in place at our other schools, and that will allow them to finish some work there on that site and get all their footers in. But we are seeing progress made on that. Just an update, still in conversations with FEMA. Had a meeting last week, and we'll get a follow-up hopefully by the end of this week on some of that, and as soon as I can report to you more definite, I will. But I do want you to know we're working on that really hard, try to secure as much FEMA funding as possible. That concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Second. My board has gone off. Have written any questions from anybody? Nope. All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, Director Luttrell. Report from the Public Works Committee, Commissioner Weathers. Maybe?
We met in January. Your minutes are in your...
You met in January with minutes.
We received and filed last month, you're right. So your minutes are in your packet. Move that we received and filed. Move to be approved, whatever.
Here, second.
Second.
There you go.
Any discussion outside of Ms. Weathers? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Ag Center Management, Commissioner Scruggs.
Whoops.
Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Animal Control, Commissioner Breeze.
No report.
Audit, Commissioner Glover.
No report.
Broadband Access Cable TV Tax, Commissioner Franklin.
Yeah, the Cable TV Broadband Access Committee met January 24th, 5 p.m. in the upstairs conference room. I move the minutes be received and filed.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Development Tourism, Commissioner Brown.
No report.
Ethics, Commissioner Dow. Finance, Commissioner Costley.
No report.
Health and Recreation, Commissioner Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our committee met on February the 16th at 5 p.m. in the upstairs conference room. I make a motion that the minutes be received and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Insurance, Commissioner McFarland.
Insurance met 21 February at 5:30 in the afternoon. Moved it, received, report, it be filed.
Got any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Judicial, Commissioner Gentry.
Judicial Committee met on January 17th and February 13th. The minutes are in the packet. Make a motion they be received and filed.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion now on the 3 sets of minutes? All in favor say aye. Planning and Zoning, Commissioner McFarland.
Planning and Zoning met on 7th September at 5 p.m. Moved the minutes be received and filed.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Rules, Commissioner Hobbs. No report. Urban Type Facility Board, Commissioner Scruggs.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Finance Director's report, Mr. Aaron Maynard. Sharon, I would like to publicly thank you for coming earlier today and making those comments. It's always good for us to be refreshed and learn from what goes on in the finance world.
Thank you very much, and I certainly appreciate all you guys coming. I didn't want to be on C-SPAN talking to an empty room. I need Debbie Moss, if she's here, I need to yield to her for just a minute, please.
Also, congratulations on a clean audit. I don't know if we've said that publicly or not, but that is an outstanding accomplishment. Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron. Commission, I am here to put a statement into the minutes. We have been working with audit. I inherited some lines that were not balanced. I have got to get the lines balanced, and audit has worked with us. Local government has worked with us. The monies that went out, they went out to people that are now dead. They went out to people that are not going to return the money. We did recover some of the money that went out. It's when our systems changed over from what we did have to Tensis that what we have now, some of it didn't move over properly. So I'm here to tell you that we're going to take our clerk fee money, which is a very healthy line, and make all these balances correct. We did get some of the money back. We did recoup some of that, so it's just a matter of moving clerk fee money into each one of these little categories that's got, some of them are very small amounts and some of them are, they're all over the place, so it's going to take a minute to get all that done. But we have audit's blessing. We have the Judicial Committee's blessing.
Need a motion?
Is this a computer or?
Yeah.
Do we need a motion?
No, it's not a vote. It's just, they audit, maybe come put it in the minutes.
Who'd receive a report?
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
And Miss Debbie, if you could come by and show it to me sometime, let me see if I can understand it in case I have any questions. I appreciate that. All in favor say aye. Maynard?
One question for County Attorney Jennings. I put on your desk a replacement. It's Resolution 23-2-17.
Is that the one that's 40,000, should have been 60?
No, sir, it's not. This one is $175,000 for the flood study that should have been coming out of the Stormwater Reserve, and I had originally prepared it coming out of capital projects.
Okay.
This is a replacement resolution. So,
You just attach it to the resolution.
okay. So when I put one of these on each of your desks.
And a question I would have on that, would that go before the Urban Type Facility Board as well, because it's stormwater? Yeah. I mean, it could be contingent tonight upon that, right? Because everything these spends that's coming out of that fund comes out of, or goes before the Urban Type Facility Board, doesn't it?
It's gone through planning and zoning with a recommendation to here.
Yeah.
It's up to y'all what you want to do with it.
Okay. I just didn't want to get in trouble.
Neither do we.
Okay.
I would say if you pass it out of here and let, because I don't think they'll need to start on it before Urban Type Facilities meets, and just let Urban Type Facilities bless it.
Yeah, we meet Friday.
No, urban facilities, that meet.
Just got road commission on Friday.
Okay.
Okay.
Colonel, do you know when they're going to start?
It'll be a month or so. Yeah.
Be a month or so?
Yeah, we got
So,
time.
we'll have time. Okay.
Well, You okay deferring that one, or you want to go ahead and pass it and let?
Can we do it on contingency?
Yeah, let's pass it on contingency of the urban type.
Problem is, once you pass it here, it's over with.
Gotcha.
There is no contingency. Y'all have the power of the purse.
Yes.
I don't have any problem with going forward with it.
Yeah. I don't see it being a problem, but, you know, it's raised as a point of order sometime, so that would be the only thing.
We can move.
Go ahead and approve it, Mr. Chairman. We've been working on this thing a year, try to get it going.
We'll move forward just with, and I guess I was just always concerned about stormwater and James Vaden, and I know he oversees that fund, so I just want to be sure he's on top of that as well, but we can move forward with this one.
The audit committee, the audit is released, so Commissioner Glover, whenever, I guess we need to communicate about when to hold an audit committee meeting, but any time is good. I'll try to shoot you an email tomorrow. And other than that, I think y'all have listened to me talk enough, so I'm done unless y'all have any questions for me.
Best one you've had since?
Wow.
Finance director?
Audit? Yes. Thank you for your patience. It took me 12 years. So if at first you don't succeed, try again. Thank you. It is something, I will say this, coming from 20 years in public accounting, working in the private sector, auditing, being an auditor, I will say this, I don't know still to this day exactly what it takes to get no findings from the comptroller's office, but when you get it, you just hit your knees and say thank you and move on, because yeah.
Move the report be received and filed.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Maynard. Report from the Budget Committee, Commissioner Marlowe.
Budget Committee met Thursday, February the 16th. Minutes are in your packet. Move they be received and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Mr. Marlowe.
32 of these today.
No. See how quick we can roll them. Got it.
A resolution 23-2-5, amending the current Wilson County adequate facilities tax for commercial and industrial development.
Move to approve.
A motion to hear a second. Second. Discussion now, Commissioner Bowman.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I would like for us to have a little more discussion on the floor in regards to this resolution. I think we are a county that's very lucky to have the ability to do what we are able to do with our adequate facility tax. And what we are proposing here tonight is a 500% tax increase on commercial adequate facility tax. Within our packet, we did receive a little bit of information in regards to AFT from July 1st of 22 through January 31st of 23. And it shows that we had 34 commercial AFT versus residential, where there was 1,257. And just looking at that, which will come into discussion here in a minute in a following resolution, 27 of those AFTs came out of the city. So 20 City of Lebanon, 20 City of Mount Juliet, and 7 here within the county, 0 in the City of Watertown. And so just looking at this, and someone can poke holes in the way that I'm approaching this, but of those 34 adequate facility tax, and we can look at the total revenue and know that this is not the case, but if you'll follow my math here, if all of those 34 were at the minimum currently, $1,000, and they were all increased to the new minimum of $5,000, that's an additional $4,000 on each of those. Which would be $136K. And if we went ahead and just rounded that out times 2 to try to get a yearly number, that would put us around $300K on adequate facility tax. And I look at that and I think imposing a 500% increase on commercial adequate facility tax for $300K just warrants a little bit more discussion on the floor.
If I could answer some of that for you. I think I was in the meeting that they had the discussion on it in the budget side. When a person comes in to build a house here, they pay $5,000 now, which was voted on recently. When you build a large commercial building, they were only paying $1,000. So they wanted to even those out and felt like that was just important of all the stuff that's brought to the commercial industry. Hasn't been addressed in quite some time, and another reason that it probably needed to be addressed. But that was a discussion I heard that night. Commissioner Gentry?
I agree with Ms. Bowman on that. That increase in tax is not going to get us that much. Plus, I think of taxes as something you want to tax you don't want. And we want commercial. And I think we always compete for commercial endeavors to come to this county. We have an office over at the airport in Lebanon that's their whole job, is to get people to come to the county. We have an algorithm, get them tax breaks, et cetera, et cetera. So I think to add taxes on that may be a deal breaker on some companies, albeit it's only $1,000, but we're competing with all the counties around this area. Thank you.
And I don't want to argue with anyone tonight, but I will say that on the taxing on things we don't want, not necessarily true. You know, we tax for education, but we tax to offset our expenses, and that is kind of what that is. And again, the kind of money that we're talking about with these buildings, an extra $4,000 is very minimal. I don't want to say chicken feed, but it is very small compared to the kind of money they're talking about investing. But again, not to argue, I understand your point. Very well taken. Commissioner Franklin.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'll have to vote against it, mainly because this will only affect the smallest of developers. And of those, I would see people trying to get out of strip center rent, somebody that wants to invest in a first-time business. I mean, these are very small square footage that the minimums would only affect. And so I looked into it and found out we're only doing about 5 or 6 a year in these minimum ranges, and we're not talking about $300,000. We're not even talking $50,000. And for me to raise taxes 500% on something, anything, for that little amount of money, that's going to be hard for me to explain to my constituents. When I first got elected in 2014, an old commissioner called me and congratulated me. And a lot of you know him. He had been on the board for a long time. And it was very nice things he said. Said he thought I'd do okay and thought I'd do pretty good. And I said, could you give me a piece of advice on the county court? And he said, he took a minute, and he said, yeah. He said, you need to steer the county like you drive on the interstate. Only jerk the wheel if you have to. And I feel like it's just jerking the wheel for no good reason, so I'm going to have to vote against it.
Thank you. Commissioner Dow.
Well, didn't you just say that the House, would you say that again?
So an adequate facility tax, if somebody comes in and builds a house, is $5,000, and the committee felt like that the commercial part had not been addressed in quite some time, and they wanted to make it equal to at least what a house new addition would cost. That was the basis that night.
Plus, on top of that, here's the thing: you need money, and Aaron was just talking about it. You need money for schools and things of that nature. So, if these developers or commercial or whatever hadn't been paying that $5,000, then you probably get taxed with property tax, and so they're paying $5,000 plus property tax is going to go up. So, I mean, it could. So let's just even things out. So that's just my 2 cents worth.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Kurtz.
While we're talking about adequate facilities tax, and what did not come out of the budget committee was one for residential. I think that we're going to sure miss the boat. And I understand we may be in a position today, and we may be lucrative today. But I can tell you that there's 2 schools that are going to be coming out of the ground soon with Wilson County. There's a third one and going to be coming out that we purchased property for. We're already a high school behind that we don't have property for, and the special school district is in the planning stages of building an elementary and a middle. That is a whole lot of education, and I understand we might not be talking about a lot of money, but I view adequate facilities tax as maybe not today's money, maybe not to count on it, but it sure is nice to have something there when we need it, and we're going to need it. To educate a student, do you remember the figure?
9,000.
And I'm telling you, those aren't true. Mr. Marlowe's been in the business a whole long time. It costs more to that to educate a student in Wilson County, I'm telling you. That's just what the state puts out and what the state wants us to believe, but it costs us a whole lot more money. And somebody mentioned ability to pay, and the fact that we have a higher ability to pay costs us a whole lot more money than it does Hancock County, who's about 95, 98% their ability to pay. So they're fully funded by the state. We're not. If anything I said here is incorrect, I apologize. I don't like talking about a tax increase, but I would sure much rather look at something for a commercial side where I don't have to go back and look at each person to my left and my right, my neighbors, and explain that we have a property tax increase coming.
Call for the question. Questions called for. Nobody's in the hopper. Are we ready to vote? Takes a two-thirds vote. You'll need 17 people in order to pass this, and you're voting to raise the attic facility tax from $1,000 to $5,000 on commercial properties only. Vote yes if you want to do that. Vote no if you don't want to. I need 17 people to say yes for the resolution to pass. Commissioner Hobbs? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record.
17.
Resolution passes. Please move forward.
Resolution 23-2-7 to amend the contract of insurance for partially self-funded medical and dental coverage on behalf of new hire Wilson County employees and dependents.
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion and a second now to have any discussion. Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote.
Which one did you read, Wendell?
Yeah, and that's why I was kind of, we skipped 6. But we'll go back to it. Vote on what you got right now, and we'll go back to 6. You're voting on the medical and dental insurance for new hires now. Vote yes if you approve of that one, and we'll go back to 6 when we finish. This is 7. 23-2-7 is the one you're voting on.
Now we're good.
All hearts and minds good with your vote, and you know what you voted for, correct? Please record.
24 yes.
24 yes, 1 absent. Resolution passes. Let's go back to 23.
I apologize. Resolution 23-2-6, amending the resolution 99-412 and previous additional resolutions establish a building permit fee schedule.
Hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion now? Are we ready to vote?
There was one that's distributed tonight that's corrected what I sent out before, and it improves, it includes commercial and industrial buildings. I did not put that in there.
So you have an updated sheet on your desk?
Yeah.
Okay.
What you voting?
Any questions about what we're voting on? Everybody good? We're voting for 23-2-6. Building fee schedule. Just put it on your desk tonight. Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record.
21 yes, 3 no, 1 absent.
21 yes, 3 no's. Resolution passes. Please move forward.
Resolution 23-2-8 regarding the video recording of county committee meetings.
Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Commissioner Breeze.
I just had a question. There's no budget amendment that goes with this, and I think there's going to be a cost to this, so I don't know if that's been discussed at all.
No cost to it. Sorry, Mr. Marlowe, go
I
ahead.
know Teresa has said there's no cost to it, but you're going to have more people who have to record, so we're going to have to pay more hourly wages, so there is going to be a cost to this.
We had a conversation
Oh.
with her earlier. The equipment's already in place, and she said she's able to handle it for this year. She may hit you up with something next year, but not for the rest of this year, she told me.
Okay,
You'd
but
have
the
a
key is that we may have to increase her line next year for this, so
Possibly. Yes. All right.
it's a cost.
Thank you. Move forward, Mr. Marlowe.
Resolution 23-2-10. We've already done 9, right? Okay.
No.
Do what?
Yeah, we've done 10.
We did 9 at the beginning.
We've done 9. We haven't done 10.
Number 10.
Yeah, number 10.
We're on 10, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Adopting the 2021 edition of the International Building Codes, Residential Code, Fire Code, Life Safety Code, Plumbing Code, Medical Code, Fuel Gas Code, and Emergency Code.
Move approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? The record reflect it was unanimous. Commissioner?
Where does this, is this falling with, WEMA, or is it falling with? No. Both places? So you're gonna have to go to both places to get both codes, or y'all under?
We'll both work on the same code.
Working on the same code. Fire code's 2021.
I know, but when you come up, when a person pulls a permit, who they coming to for that fire code? Okay.
Are we good? Yes, sir. Ready for 23-2-11, amending the zoning.
11 we've already done, that was the flood.
Yeah, that was with Tom.
So we're now ready for number 12.
Right, okay. Resolution 23-2-12 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from the Ag Center Fund 124 to Ag Center.
Do I hear a motion?
Move approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion now? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record.
23 yes, 1 no, 1 absent.
23 yes, 1 no, 1 absent. Resolution passes.
Resolution 23-213 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from capital projects fund to capital projects.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Now discussion. Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-14 to make an amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from capital project fund and general fund to capital projects to design a multi-level court system.
Second.
Any discussion? Commissioner Denton?
Yes, it seems to me like we've done a lot of talking now about revenue, more sources of revenue, little dabs of revenue. We're looking here now, knowing we got a school to pay for, we got another school to pay for, we got the second phase of the jail to finish. And in the meeting the other night, I try to attend as many as I can, but I can't hear a lot of the discussion, or I would have said something the other night. But Mr. Maynard said that we had $60 million for a courthouse, $40 million for a elementary school, and that would top us out as far as our debt load. So why now a $76 million building? If we're going to do that, why don't we do it in phases, or have an addendable building to where we can expand as we grow, because it's supposed to last us for 40 years. So obviously we don't need that type of building for the present, and we're already topped out on debt load. I think efficiency is what we're looking at, not elegancy. This seems to be an awful high price tag when we're carrying a real high debt load. It's going to raise us another, probably put us over $700 million in debt.
Do that.
So if we spend this money now, it's pretty much a surety we're not going to throw $1 million down the tube and we're going to come back and approve the building. So that's just my 2 cents worth, as somebody said. I think it's 3 or 4 cents worth, but
Let me see if I can, Mr. Denton, let me see if I can help with a little bit of this. So the jail, of course, is in the second phase that we're working on now between January and October. And of course, the land we purchased behind the sheriff's office is for the multi-level court system. It will combine all of the courts that we have today, those at the church, those in the jail, all in one place. That has been in the process and was actually planned and worked on back in 2019 with a committee to actually form that, and we were just waiting for the time to be right to do that. The cost of that building estimated is about $78 million. We thought early on $60 million, but they said when they do those, they include all the FF&E, everything on the inside, so there's nothing additional to be done. The $78 million is within the debt service, meaning that when we called the bond counsel and said, can we handle that debt without having to have a tax increase, they said yes. They didn't mean that's the capacity of how much money we could spend. They just said we can pay for that one right now and not ask you to pass a tax increase. And that's what we've always tried to work for here since we've been here. Don't really present you with anything for a tax increase, and you guys have done a good job of that. You've only raised taxes 2 times in 15 years, and that's a pretty good record. You were on a 3-year schedule before we got here, and so you've done a very good job of that. On the school side, you have a $40 million school coming out of that going on Double Log Cabin Road, and yes, you have enough money in the rural debt service to cover it. I'm not saying you won't have any, could cover any more schools, but you might or may not. As Director Luttrell said earlier, he's working hard on FEMA money coming back, and that is to pay back the money you borrowed to do the West Wilson Middle School. If a large majority of that money comes back like we're expecting, that will knock that debt out and allow you maybe to have enough money when it comes time to build the elementary school in the Glade to have that as well. That's always been our goal, is to try to bring to you schools or any buildings that don't require tax increases. And so we're on that, so I don't want you to be alarmed that we are in debt more than we can pay. This $550,000 is really $850,000. $300,000 came from the opioid fund. There may be more funds coming there. If we could get all of that and replace that for the $550,000, I would love to do that as those funds come back. And we're definitely, our eyes and ears are on that amount of money as it comes in from these drug companies. So that's the reason we brought it to you at the time, because we have planned for this while, but it was not a knee-jerk reaction. Actually, since 2019, we've been working towards the time frame to be ready to do this without a tax increase on our people, because I'm 100% with you. I do not want to raise taxes if we don't have to. There may be a day that we have to.
I'm not talking about raising taxes.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I think it's time for us to quit bragging we hadn't raised the taxes, because we had a very large increase in our raise of taxes last time. I don't think people's ready for that right now. And this will push us to the limit to where if we do have to purchase another school, then we're going to have to raise taxes. So,
Mr. Denton,
seems kind of dangerous time to me to spend this kind of money on this particular building. We can do some things to accommodate till we get beyond this hump.
Sure. Commissioner Denton, when you refer to we raised taxes quite a bit, give me which one you're talking about.
That last property tax hike, to which
a long time ago, it was 35 cents.
A year and a half ago.
No, sir, we haven't raised taxes. No,
maybe they just doubled mine, I guess. I just don't know. But the city, both of them was, in fact, I called and negotiated them. So I know it was just, couldn't have been more than 2 years ago. So,
but your county commission hadn't raised taxes since probably 2016, maybe. You've only raised it twice since in the last 15 years. So I know that was the last time that we raised taxes. And then the reappraisal, increased your property value, but you lowered your tax rate then from 251 to 1.
I'm talking about the reappraisal. They doubled the appraisals. And then,
but they lowered your
rates, made my taxes almost double. I negotiated 65%, and
so your property value went up at that time. But the county commission lowered the tax rate to 190, and that's what the certified tax rates from the state came down and told us we had to do. They could have raised it, the county commission could, but they chose to leave it at 190.
When you double the appraisal rate, though, it really don't make much difference if you drop the percentages a little bit. You still are increasing your tax intake. So that's just my concern, is that we don't want to be standing on that edge again, have to do that.
Yes, sir, I understand completely. Commissioner Rich?
If we go forward with this, do we have a plan in place for the existing courtrooms? And secondary question, are all the courtrooms on board, all the judges on board with this new plan?
Yes, sir. They've asked for this for quite some time. We've actually met, like I said, back in 2019 and made a plan to this and actually to go further with that for you. If you do approve this tonight, then that group will start back together and we'll have from now until sometime in October to get the plans done, signed off on, and ready to go out to bid.
Okay.
That is the plan for that.
But the existing buildings,
For the existing building,
for those,
we do have we do have that, and really this one building that you build will allow for pressure to be relieved in all of our offices. You know, our hopes right now is to make the church that exists now with the courts in it a one-stop shop for our builders. So we're looking at that particular part, which if offices leave here and they, you know, and as Miss Jackie Murphy is one of them in here today, you know, we won't make anybody leave. I have that authority, but I don't play like that, and so therefore we will work to make that happen there. But when they do move from here, you'll have a room here, you'll have room in the annex. In other words, Mr. Thomas sitting back there, he would have all of his people under one roof. He's in the bottom floor here and at the annex, so he could put all of his people together there. And we've talked to others about going to make that an easy place for our builders to go. But there is a plan there. If you approve this, of course, that's October of 2025. As we make those moves, because it'll take us that long to get there, we will bring those plans back to Public Works and work our way through that as far as the moves go.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Any other questions on that? Good questions. No other discussion. Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner McFarland? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record.
23 yes, 1 no, 1 absent.
Resolution passes. Please move forward.
Resolution 23-2-15, to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from capital projects fund to capital projects for a sewer sleeve for Wema Station. Can't spit it out.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Evans? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, resolution passes. Please move
Resolution
forward.
23-2-16, to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from capital projects fund to capital projects for a sign at the Veterans Building.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Dow? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-17, to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from capital projects funds to planning.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Commissioner Smith?
It's going to be a reference to the substitute that we have.
This will be the $175,000 resolution substitute that will now be coming from stormwater instead of out of capital projects. Please be sure we note that on this particular resolution. Any other questions? Are we ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, no, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-18, to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from general fund to county clerk.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, 1 absent, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-19 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to reappropriate ARP funds from Fund 127.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, 1 absent. Resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-20 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for line item transfers and health department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Hall? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24-1, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-21 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from general fund to judicial commissioners.
Motion approved.
Got a motion and a second. Now any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24-1, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-22 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an additional appropriation from the Sanitation Fund 207 to landfill.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24-1, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-23 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for line item transfers in juvenile services and probation.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any discussion? Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote.
Jump in there, Bobby.
Commissioner Denton? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24-1, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-24 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from the general fund to libraries.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Hate to hear that. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24-1, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-25 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for line item transfers in the Sheriff's Department.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24-1, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-26 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from the general fund to WEMA.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24-1, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-27 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for line item transfers in WEMA.
Motion to approve.
I got a motion and a second. Commissioner Glover, do you have a question about the last one?
Just on the 23-2-25,
Yes.
the next one I had in the line was 23-1-9, which was from January. And the budget amendment sheet is totally different as far as the items that's listed on each one.
That
Was one of them taken out?
That was shown to show why we were doing this one tonight. There was a change. That's something y'all approved last time. And I just attached it to it. Perhaps I shouldn't have, but I did.
We're good there? I got a motion and a second now on 23-2-27, line item transfer in WEMA. Any discussion on that one?
Who made the motion in a second?
I got a motion by, I think, Commissioner McFarland.
Aye.
And the second was by Commissioner Smith?
Pressed a button, that's why I was asked.
Okay, so help Ms. Dowdy with the button passion. And I got a motion and a second, no discussion, ready to vote, please cast. I think their fingers are sore. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Huh? Please record. 24-1, resolution.
Speak to this next one before you go forward.
Mayor?
Yeah. The
Go
next
ahead.
one you're gonna do, this 28, about adopting the fee schedule for the International Fire Code. You've already approved that resolution earlier this evening. It's attached to this. You don't have to vote on it.
All right.
So, number 28 there, I think when you fund
Okay.
those,
So the fee schedule has already been approved, so all you're really voting on is the permit now and the fee, correct?
whatever this says, attached permitted fee schedule.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion further on this? Everybody good? Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24-1, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-29, approving lease agreement for the Wilson County Clerk.
Move to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
No.
I knew you was going to do that.
I got a 23 and 1 no for Mr. Kurtz and 1 absent. Resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-30, to amend the budget and appropriation resolution by approving Wilson County Board of Education Budget Amendment 23-07.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Costley? Commissioner Weathers? Gentry? And Clark?
My board light up.
Come on, man.
Commissioner Gentry?
I think we've overworked it today.
I believe we have. Commissioner Gentry, thank you. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24-1, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-31, to amend the budget and appropriation resolution by approving Wilson County Board of Education Budget Amendment 23-08.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Chandler? Commissioner Dow? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24-1, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-2-32, approving the Wilson County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Thank you. Let me say this before I go to old business. You know, I sit up here and a lot of times you'll bring stuff to me like Commissioner Denton did tonight, Commissioner Bowman, and others, and I respond just to do my best to make it as clear as possible on the day-to-day stuff for you. I work for you, and I hope you know that I'm never here to lead you one way or the other. Please understand that. I just do the best I can to make it as clear as possible so that you can make the best decision that you can. I just hope you know that. I hope I come across that way. If I don't, I apologize for that. Any old business to come before the body? Any new business?
I just have one question.
Oh, Commissioner Glover?
Why does sometimes when you push the button lights up yes, other times it doesn't light up yes until after the vote comes through?
It's Mr. Goodall's fault.
Tommy
really don't know that
He
answer.
didn't want a new system.
Talk to, yeah. See, y'all started this. Commissioner McFarland.
What really happens if too many vote yes, within the same nanosecond, it overloads that machine in the closet and it just doesn't vote.
Spoken by a guy that knows a lot about technology.
Amen, brother.
One more vote. All in favor say aye.